I'm back to being all alone again.
I'm here too.
You're no human, are you?
That's right.
Even when I'm left all alone, I always have Moscow by my side. All alone, business as usual. Remind me why I even came here in the first place. Was I forced to come? Did I just want to meet Haru one more time? In the end, Senpai just strong-armed me into coming. To use Moscow for her plans. Nevertheless, I'm ultimately the one who ended up having to depend on her. No. That's not right. Senpai probably brought me here for my own benefit. She wanted to bring me to an environment where I could learn what I need once I try to figure it out on my own. I see. What I want to learn what I have to learn in order to see her. I eventually have to make a move on my own. The only one who can find that out is me and me alone. I finally caught that obvious fact. In the end, I rely on others for everything. Do I really want to see Haru? Whatever. Thinking about that does nothing for productivity. I feel like looking for some kind of book would be a better use of my time. I say that, but will a book from here help me find out something about Haru?
It's doable, don't you think?
Yeah.
Your mouth is gaping like a goldfish. Dr. CS! Thank you so much for before.
Thank you very much.
Think nothing of it. That was done half as a gesture of good faith and another half from her grace.
I see. I'm not alone then. Still, where the hell did she crop up from?
Don't talk about people like they're bugs. I told you to call if you're having any trouble. You seem to be having some trouble, so I flew down here. Huh? If I recall correctly, you mentioned call if something happens. Or something to that effect, ma'am.
Oh, come on, Moscow. Don't go poking holes in an argument that's not even there.
I intentionally changed the wording around.
Did you notice? Huh? What? Is this her idea of a joke? That's just confusing.
Incidentally, by saying I flew, I connected it with bugs.
Ah. Yes.
So, what happened?
I want to know about Haru.
What exactly?
Like, where she is right now and what I have to do to see her.
Just how much do you know about her again?
She's in a different universe. A universe with different aspects, if I'm not mistaken.
Dimension permutation hypothesis, is it?
Yes.
In the composed section of my mind, I ponder, why am I talking to her about everything, I wonder?
Why, I wonder? No matter how much of a doctor she is, I don't know how much she knows about the dimension permutation hypothesis. Maybe I'm going off intuition and thinking. She must know everything. Sea and sky, the sun and space, the desert and bookshelves, white, black and red, hope and despair. That's what I saw inside the doctor's mind during the power outage a little while back. I feel as though everything is there. She must know everything. I think that's why I can relax and talk to her about everything. It's like, to make a comparison, a child being able to talk to their parents about anything. Parents. Huh. She must know about everything. Maybe even more than Hime-senpai does. You want to know about the dimension permutation hypothesis? Yes, ma'am. Or would you rather like to know the tale of the girl whose spirit glyphs split off and traveled the universe? Huh? Follow me, if you would. The doctor leads me somewhere, entering a passageway lined with bookshelves. I'm very well versed in the dimension permutation hypothesis. Are you? It's a generational thing. Right. Do you know about Wonderland? Wonderland? You mean like Alice in Wonderland? Yes, but while that is where the word derives from, what I am talking about is a series of incidents that occurred in 2025 AD, actually. No, I don't know at all. Not surprising. Do you know Moscow? Actually, ever since we arrived at the archive, I haven't been able to connect to the internet, so... Oh. Then, can't look up anything new? I cannot. You can't use any cloud service either, so you're in environmental dependency mode. The doctor suddenly stops walking, turns around, and says that. Do you mind if we talk alone for a minute? Be my guest. Well, on the note that I mentioned before, I really don't get the impression that any kind of communication is being established between us. Maybe she's just a poor speaker. A long time ago, humanity thought the following. The world is a three-dimensional space. There are three spans: width, depth, and height. Do you know of Euclidean geometry? Figure problems that appear in primary mathematics are all Euclidean geometry. Triangle, angle, parallels, rectangular solids, etc. However, humanity eventually caught wise to something. That the surface of the Earth isn't really flat. That Euclidean geometry probably isn't enough to allow us to describe the world. Take this for example. Through Euclidean geometry, it is generally known that the sum of a triangle's interior angles are 180 degrees. But on a spherical surface like Earth, when drawing a triangle, it will end up being bigger than 180. Thus, what developed was non-Euclidean geometry. Non-Euclidean geometry comes in a variety of forms, but it actually bends Euclidean geometry and makes it more flexible, which is probably a good way to look at it. This new form of geometry changed the way we perceive the universe.
Even Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity is described through non-Euclidean geometry. Some time after, something called superstring theory was hypothesized and researched. According to it, the universe is a 10 or 11-dimensional space. Or should I say, when calculated theoretically, that is the only correct conclusion. In this way, a new spin on perceiving reality becomes a new geometry and develops a physics mean to the perception of the universe changes. This flow is, historically, very common to see. Right then. Now with the long forward out of the way, Wonderland, to put it short and sweet, was a major incident of that variety. It sure was something. They found the alternative world, also known as the looking glass world. You're familiar with alternative elements, of course. Your smart tool that houses Moscow-chan is an alternative molecular compound. Alternative elements cannot be seen while standalone. Compounding with normal elements, it will show up in our world. That's because of alternative elements being substances that do not have width, depth, or height on a real axis. Alternative elements can finally be seen in the alternative world. In other words, the alternative world refers to a mirrored alternative universe. With Wonderland in 2025 as a start, the alternative world became a deeply debated subject, which would result in today's alternative compound technology. Superposition geometry was a form of geometry that was excellent at describing the alternative world. If we look at it now, the alternative world is a p-directional dimensional spaces imaginary times imaginary area, serving as one universe with different aspects, and can be easily explained as such. And all that can be attributed to superposition geometry. And after that, using superposition geometry, the HT infrastructure theory was constructed. Incidentally, the most mundane occurrence in the Wonderland was the awakening of telepathy in a certain man, I believe. The others were extremely flamboyant in nature by comparison. This man's telepathy, the phenomenon known as HT, the results of calculating a scientific explanation, became the 18-dimensional theory. To try to make it all fall into place, this universe had to have been the 18-dimensional universe described by superposition geometry. So, what was I talking about again? Oh yes. The dimension permutation hypothesis, right? So, this theory is a scholastic theory thought up by some bad men around the time the alternative world was recognized. Bad men? Just a personal dislike. Take nothing from it. Getting back to the story, they thought that if the alternative world exists, then surely there exist other universes with different aspects. That was actually very much correct. I say, but in materials at the time, a ludicrous figure such as 18 equals that number would never show up. It is ludicrous, isn't it? Huh? But wait just a second. Let us say the alternative elements has some deep relation with the alternative world. If that is the case, why is that we understand alternative molecular compounds so well, we don't know anything about the alternative world? That's true. Actually, there's quite a naive way of processing that information. It has been said that a universe with different aspects has yet to be found. That is why her affiliates, such as myself, run things behind the scenes. Would it be bad if it was known to the public? That all depends on your set of values, doesn't it? Personally, I might cease to be in if another paradigm loss were to happen, so it doesn't earn my favor. Wowie!
Is it a good thing that you told us something like that?
Seems that way.
Huh? Ah. Regardless, there are others who have visited here aside from you all. All have met their fates. Either that, or committed suicide. To phrase it another way, there is no one who has made it out of the archive alive. No way. Joking. Wait, what? Joking. Huh? I said it twice. Huh? It's a joke. But the truth of the matter is that whether it becomes a joke is up to you. Alright. While we were busy discussing this and that, we made it. What is this? A card catalog. With this, you can find some good books. Oh. Do you know how to use it? Yes, I used one recently. Even though it feels like it's been way longer than that. Okay, but I'll still show you around. I'm technically the librarian here, after all. Let's see. Found it. And with that, let's make our way to the physics corner. I will lead the way. Right. In a complete 180 from earlier, the doctor goes without saying a word. It's still amazing, though. The fact that she can guide me around without faltering despite everything around us looking exactly the same. She very much gives off the librarian vibe. What? It's odd, though. Strange, even. I say that because in this library, none of the bookshelves are labeled with a number or anything. From the looks of it, you're getting lost here whether you like it or not. I wonder how Hime-senpai is faring. She probably hasn't lost her way, has she? Truth is, the doctor seems lost herself. We keep walking for quite some time. I feel like we keep walking for twice as long as before. Maybe it just feels like a long time because we aren't talking anymore. It's around here. The doctor stops in her tracks. This, the book you're looking for, is somewhere in here, most likely. I'll be taking my leave now. Huh? Hold on, wait a second. I don't have any reason to wait. I mean, well, you have a point, you certainly don't. But I would appreciate it if you didn't just pass the burden to me. It's fine if I do pass it on to you, so I'm taking my leave. I have to get out of here ASAP and put as much distance between us as possible. It will be fine. It should be easy enough to find. Right. It's embarrassing. That's why. Well, it's fine. If you need me sooner or later, please give me a call. I think there should be about 3 or so different cases logged here. Good luck. Yes, ma'am. After the doctor gives me a glance, she really leaves the area. What should I do?
For now, why don't you try searching for a book? From what the doctor just said, I don't know what you should be reading exactly, but...
What was it she said again?
Something about a tale of a girl whose spirit split and traveled across the universe? So... Huh? Oh, look at that, Yatsuba!
What's wrong?
The bookshelf where I'm looking at.
There's a book that isn't a red one. No way. It's true. There is one publication that isn't red on the bright red bookshelf. I guess you could call it khaki colored. It's a dull colored book, regardless. I pick it up. Oh. Dionysius does a cat about the lion. Is this the doctor's book? I go back to where I woke earlier, the place where they sell the beds. I take a seat on the bed. I feel somewhat at ease here. Should I be reading this? What do you say, Muscle?
Whatever the case, I don't think there's any harm in giving it once over, right?
This publication is not part of the Akashic phone, I feel. And going out the fact that this is not read, and unlike Akashic phone books in that area, this publication has the title and author name written on the spine. If I were to give my 2 cents, it's a regular publication. I feel like it wasn't even the repository we visited the other day. Speaking of which, I realized that I haven't even read a single one of Akashic Phone series. I haven't even touched one. I wonder if it's all it's cracked up to be. For some reason, I can't get myself excited over it. Here I am, not even getting myself excited over the book I have here. Forward. We'll start with the word authority. Authority means power, or to be in a position of power. This word is said to have the same root as another English word, author. Author's definition is a creator of a work or a writer. Nowadays it seems unrealistic, but long ago, those who wrote books were a select handful with an enormous amount of authority. That means that only the elite were allowed to write books. And, at the same time, sentences read by these books were also something that held clout. Well, I think this book will sustain the fact that there is no such limitation in place here in the present day. In ancient Greece, there were people called orators. It refers to people who could speak with powerful voices in a loud but concise manner. These types of people also possessed authority. In a similar fashion to how authors had authority, the spread of information was connected closely with authority. Holy scriptures are a good example, aren't they? They're often called Bibles and treated as virtual gods. This supports the fact that books hold a strong amount of influence over others. Unlike orators, the words written in books can travel far and wide, allowing them to be constantly republished, giving them longevity into the years. With such a powerful tool at one's disposal, one could convey their thoughts and ideas to anyone. But I had no intention of conveying my thoughts with the book. I'm absolutely not exerting any effort towards conveying them. I hate to spoil this for you, but this foreword is not something that I have written as a foreword or introduction. So I am aware that the things written in the book are prose-like and do not have a main subject in mind. There is no concept of time. I have to wonder how much time your readers out there spent reading this book from this foreword. From my perspective, however, this is something different. From my point of view, the content of this book is all stored in my mind, so it appears in my mind as images in less than a second. There is no concept of time. That is to say, you, reading this book, are thesis, lost in the maze, and I am peering at you via satellite photography. That is a good way to describe a person's lifetime. You may spend decades of your lifetime walking, but to someone else, it's a thing that is barely worth a second. It's unfortunate. There's no concept of time. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand right from the get-go. The only thing that leaves an impression is the line that says, "I had no intention of conveying my thoughts." This book literally does just that and doesn't convey a single thing to me. Want to give it a read too, Moscow?
Yes, I do.
I tried letting Moscow read the part I read.
Quite interesting.
Is it now?
But scary.
Why?
This is basically saying that there's only one way the future can go.
That's a tad incorrect. There's no concept of time, so you can't use the word future in the first place. The past, the future, and the present are all of equal value. Being of equal value, they pass into and meet in a single scene. The one weaving them together like a maze is her, or even yourself.
That's pretty hard to follow.
I'm not following at all. I decided to go to sleep, still not following anything I just learned. I just read a difficult book and got kind of tired. The development of HT infrastructure theory was tough. This is because while there are 18 dimensions, I was only able to normally view 3 out of all 3 directional dimensions. To use an example, I'm not sure if this could be used as a good example or not, but it's very much like putting my dreams in a picture diary every morning. Considerably vivid ones at that. Dreams are quite interesting, however. Once I wake up and process them calmly, there are times where I'm shocked by the aggressive turns my dreams tend to make. For example, I'm on a normal outing with A-san, but somewhere along the way they turn into B-san, so things like that. However, despite these being clearly bizarre things to happen, in my dream, they didn't feel bizarre at all. I am conditioned to not defy the setting and script of my dreams. I am unable to realize that bizarreness unless I wake up from my dream. I've experienced something like that before. Events where I think, oh man, I discovered an amazing theorem, only to find that there will never become a theorem. Or maybe it is the case that it is a proper theorem in the dream world. But in saying that, the reality is something similar to that. You can't realize just how absurd reality is when you're neck deep in reality. That's true. There's part of me that just can't oppose the unnatural.
Shall we head to bed now?
Yep. Good night. Am I sleeping? Whether I'm asleep or awake, I can only see the same sight. Books. 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 Books as far as the eye can see. The smell of books wafts through the air. Read books as far as the eye can see. The atmosphere is so bizarre and peculiar that it makes me doubt whether gravity's doing this job or not. No morning, noon, or night. Not a single thing has changed. There's no concept of time here. I feel like I finally understand that. I get that what I'm seeing now is black. That's also how I know that my eyes are now closed. There's just one thing I don't understand. Whether I'm awake right now, sleep right now, this is reality, or if this is a dream. It's all really murky. By the way, do you all happen to know the factorial of 18? If you do the calculations, I think it'll become clear. But 18 equals la 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 la. Six quadrillion. Yeah, I'm just gonna say 6 quadrillion. Million, billion, Oh, yeah. Like so. Therefore, 18 people queuing in line means there are 6 quadrillion different arrangements. That's much more than anticipated. It would seem that I have come to a point different than most other people. It appears I have a 6 quadrillion universal travel voucher in exchange for the providence of death. I wonder why. I don't have any recollection of wanting it. Perhaps it comes with the territory being a scientist. Perhaps it comes with the territory coming too close to the truth. Or could it be something that I desired all along? However, to me, even the truth seems utterly foolish now. There's 6 quadrillion ways about the universe. There's 6 quadrillion ways about science. It's quite a strange little story, but it's all true. Well, there's no convincing you, I see. By the way, as you all know, adding 1 to 18 equals 19. I've named this the 19th dimension, I. There are multiple meanings. The letter I as in me, I as in love in Japanese, or even as I as in sorrow. Well, perhaps the tale of the universe travel I'm about to tell will be interesting. I'm worn out. I neither feel the sensation of being tired nor feeling drowsy. But despite what should be the case, every day I fall asleep without resistance. However, here there's no concept of days, so it's dubious as to whether what I'm falling into is asleep at all. That's why, to put it accurately, it would seem better to say I fall every day. It's a bunch of nonsense that no one cares about, though. It's completely pointless. Red. There are a lot of red books here. See my senpai is staying true to her word and reading books. I should get to reading too. It's the first time I've been excited by the Akashic phone. Senpai grabbed one of the books from here, right? Alley-oop. Oh, it's lighter than I thought. This is the book that Senpai lauded as beautiful before. I wonder what it's about. Huh? The pages are blank. I pick up a book next to it. This one's blank too. The one next to that one, and the one next to that one. This is weird, I think, looking at each page carefully. Oh. I can see something from the page underneath. I hurriedly flip to the page that's written on. Crap. I'm in utter shock. Incidentally, the number 6 quadrillion is of course the base 10. If it were base 9, 6 quadrillion would be... I must say that's like 100,000 million, billion, trillion. 1 quadrillion. Once you convert it into base 10, the number shrinks a little bit, right? Oh, I guess writing base 10 is a little confusing. No matter what the base, when the digits increase, it's always in increments of 10 after all. For example, in base 2, 2 is written as 10. Let's dig a little deeper into the matter, shall we? 0, 0. 1, 1. 2, 10. 3, 11. 4, 100. 5, 101. 6, 110. 7, 111. 8, 1000. For base 2, we count numbers just like this. Base 2 was used for the logic circuits of ancient people's computers. Why was that? Why, because if a light bulb only has 2 states, either off or on, then you would be able to count the number. Early computers didn't use light bulbs but vacuum tubes. If there used to base 10, it would seem necessary to use different colored bulbs to represent 10 different states. It was a pain in the neck. As for what is so fun about base 2, to put it simply, you could count all natural numbers if you just had a set of white and black ghost stones. Light and dark. Adam and Lilith. Adam and Eve. Existence and nil. I see, it may be too late to mention, but I feel as though I understand the meaning of what I saw that day. Does it mean that she was really Alice? To me, it's not a very entertaining tale. It is simply talking to myself. It's like talking about Citron when I was still just citron fruits. It's still the eve where she started to break. I suppose that's enough derailing things for now. Oh boy, a choice to make, I had to save. I choose this one? Uh-oh. Oh no, in the binary phase. Ah! So I think this is one. Let's choose one. If I screwed up, I'm probably, screwed. I don't know where I'm going, but I hope it's the correct way. Oh, now let's choose 0 for once. Hime senpai. Ah. Mm. Ow. Mm. Oh. Mm. 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 Wait a minute. I think I accidentally chose Hime. Hmm. 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 So warm. So soft and feels so good as well. What are you doing? Doesn't it feel good? Very much so, yes. I know. I think so too. Hmm. It's a sensation like I'm being wrapped in lukewarm water. It's so warm. The warmth makes it feel good. Hmm. May I as well? Yes. Of course. Can't believe that I had this sort of desire in me. I know that skin-to-skin contact could feel so pleasant. I feel as though I'm being sucked in. It's a wonderful feeling. My mind is starting to go into a daze. Her hair tickles as it lightly touches me. What's the matter? Nothing at all. Oh, that's so. Mm-hmm. This is somehow familiar. This sensation. Hey. So warm. And feels good. I feel like I'm flying. Yeah, it's a bit good. A dream? Ah! Ah! What's the meaning of this? I'm asking you what you're trying to do. Why were you servicing me? Why were you servicing me? What am I even doing? I want to die. I want to die. To be continued.
ひ